Hello everybody. Mum's cooking tea over there, it's smelling yummy. So meanwhile, I'm going to go live with the Dodo book. As I mentioned, I won't make it as we go along. What I'll do is I'll explain the steps, and then people that would like to make it at home, I'll hold it out there so I get less chins. People who would like to make it at home can then go back and watch and then press pause as I do each step. So for anybody who's not familiar, the Dodo album, I called it that because my birdie that's in the album, his name's Dodo because he has no wings, so he can't fly. Hello, Zaza. Hello, Deb. So I did a class with 49 and Market, and we made this album in what I call a fixed album, so that when you finish the pages, you can't add any more pages easily. So because I'm going to continue taking lots of photos of my birdie, I adjusted this album to go with a scrapbook album that you can continue to add more pages by Uniquely. So this is a combination of 49 and Market and Uniquely Creative. And some of the steps are really fun and I would not have thought of them. So a huge thank you to Janine from 49 and Market who came up with these ideas. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Here we are. Here is the front page of our Dodo album. So it's made with the In the Leaves collection pack. So we have a 6x8 collection pack that is full of papers. Mum, can I borrow you for a moment? Because I forgot to open these paper packs to show people. So Mum's going to open that in a moment so we can go through the papers. But for the album is not a page out of the book. This whole album is available on our website. You can buy the pieces individually. Can you just open that pack for me, please? Or you can buy the pieces one by one if you happen to have some of them. So in the pack, you'll get an ephemera stack. And watch what happens when you open your packet and take all the ephemera out of it. You are left with that gorgeous background piece of cardstock. On the back is just writing about the ephemera. And then on the front, so what you're going to do is you're going to trim it across the top there. And that is going to be our background piece of cardstock. So then what we do is you will go through your laser cuts. Now let's see if I can do this one-handed. You'll go through your laser cuts and you will find this frame here, which you'll pop out. So you'll pop that out. You'll put your photo behind the frame, and this background piece here is a little piece of cardboard that you'll also, in your kit, you'll have a frames kit. So you'll get out this little bit of cardboard to tuck behind it, and then in your ephemera, you will find a tiny little, I'm just looking for it here, one-handed. Maybe I should have done a little bit more organisation, but anyway. Hello, Mary Lou. Hello, Tammy. You'll find this little photo reel, which you'll tuck underneath. In your laser cuts, you'll pop out some more little laser cuts. We popped out and we put one there. You'll find a tiny little tag in your laser cuts, which you'll put up there. And then, if you look, see how your background piece of paper is quite plain? In your rub-ons sheet, I have a pack of rub-ons here somewhere. Mum put them out of my reach. That's a pack of rub-ons down there. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So in your packet of rub-ons, you'll find lots of little pieces like this. There's an entire sheet of them amongst them. All these little butterflies I use throughout. This page here, so I put a bit of pink down here. That's actually a little, this is one of your rub-ons. This is a rub-on. And there's a wording that says, hello, pumpkin. I didn't want to use the word pumpkin. Hello, pumpkin. So I just trimmed it down. And so the front of my album just says hello. If you're making a baby album, you could leave hello, pumpkin on there. So this is a rub-on. That's a rub-on. You have heaps of rub-ons in your kit. You can keep adding them until you're happy. That's a rub-on. That's a rub-on. This is a little additional laser cut. So hopefully that's enough for people to be able to make this page. This little word today, you can get a separate, I didn't include these in the kit, but you can buy them. I think they're $6.95 for 3 different words. And if you want to, I just put a little nick in the butterfly and I slid it on there. Okay, so now for page 1. That we will come back to. That is a little pocket. So page 1 of the album. The pages for the book are 8 by 10. The pages in our collection are 6 by 8. So what I did was I included a sheet of vellum in everybody's kit, so you can cut the vellum down to size to fit your page. What I would like to have done, I have some great cardstock in my home stash that would pick these colours out beautifully. So if you wanted to, you could use that. But because I didn't have enough to give everybody a sheet in their kit, I used vellum. So feel free to substitute from what you've got at home. Now, to make the page. First of all, you'll pick out this particular one from your 6 by 8 pack. You'll know it because it is plain brown on the back. Then you'll get your scalpel out and you'll very carefully scalpel the edge of the butterfly, the edge of the 2 leaves, like so. And from your collectibles kit, you'll get this really fun little newsprint. And then in your frames kit, you'll have this little frame here. And this little piece here is just a tiny little die cut in the shape of a tab. So I stuck those words on there, perfect together, but there's lots of words in your rub-ons, or you may rate a different packet of rub-ons and use different words. I'm just looking for the words. There we are. So say it was a cold photo, you could have sweater weather. You could put the word glorious on there. You could put any words on there whatsoever, or as I mentioned, you could substitute words out of another packet of rub-ons. I used pine cone ink around the edges of everything. So that's page 1 done. So obviously once you've layered that on your newsprint, you would tuck it underneath the butterfly and there's your page done. So hopefully this is working for people that would like to copy this album at home. Then on the back of that, I haven't added my photo yet, but I chose the floral piece of paper that is dark green on the back. And I got another one of the frames, the same frame that we used on the front of the book. And then I used the scalpel on the background piece of paper to cut it out, and the piece of frame went up under there. You would have your frame, your photo under here. And then I went through my ephemera and I found this tag here. It's got a 14 on it. I cut it in half, straight across the middle. One half of the tag up there, one half of the tag down there. It's all about layering to make these pages look fun. Then this big white tag here, found another tag, tucked it under there, and to tie it all in together, go crazy with your rub-ons. I chose this little dried flower here. There are dozens to choose from. Oh, there we are. It looks like I've put a little splatter up there. Every time there was a little bit of plain, I put a splattery rub-on. And down there, another little laser cut, so very thankful. I did ink the edges of everything. So that's that page done. Add as many rub-ons as you would like. So then we'll turn the page. Here's another fun one. This one was very easy, so we just chose a 6 by 8 page with the flowers on it. The back of it is, that's what the back of it looks like. It's going to have some floral on the back of it. If you choose a different one, that's absolutely fine, because depending on your photos, you might go for a different one in your pack. And then I took one of the 6 by 8 pieces of paper that just had some brown on the back of it, and I cut it into quarters. So I had 2 orange 3 by 4 frames. And then with my scalpel, I cut the scalpel down there and tucked my photo under. Now, where do you get these really fun little bits of, what would you call them, string? Again, they are on your laser cuts. This one has the green ones, which I think we used last week, and this one here. There we are. I used the 2 little ones like that. These are little bread tags that come in your laser cuts, so you can just cut them off and cut them in. So those, but again, if you wanted to make something different, you could do one big 4 by 6 photo on there. And then you'll turn the page. And again, we used one of these brown ones, and on the back of it is a dark brown. So then you'll go to your frames. So we use this frame here, and then another one of the full frames behind it. And this here is just one of those tiny little die cut bits to look like an extra file tab. So with mine, I chose to scalpel the edges so I could tuck it under. I scalpeled the leaf so I could tuck it there. And then I used 3 little tags, a little green one, a little brown one, and that one there. If you wanted to, you could cut it in half and have some poking down the bottom. So that's that page. And now we go to the smaller 4x6 pages. So the one I used in this instance, as you can see, it had some little butterflies along the bottom. This is where you can start choosing the pages to suit your photos. So very simply, we just had a file tab on there and I'll have my photo behind it. Up here, I think it was the top half of it. So I just used, that is out of my collectibles. That is out of my collectibles. No, that's a file tab, that's out of the collectibles. Tiny little yellow, what do you call those, file tabs up there. And off to the side here, we have a bigger, so when you're going through your kits, you'll find all these. So we have a bigger tag, a little yellow tag, and a little brown tag. And if you want to go crazy with your rub-ons, I haven't yet. I want to add my photos before I add more rub-ons. Going over to our next page, this one was a very simple one. So that was just one of the pages cut in half to a 4x6, and that's meant to be my photo. Oh, that's what I did with this one. This is one of the ones cut in half. I was very proud of this. Let me find the piece of paper. One moment. This is hard to do one-handed. Hang on, trying to do it one-handed. I'm not going to be able to do it one-handed. What I did, go through your papers and find the one that's got the little, little caterpillar and a little butterfly. And if you have a look at that paper when you find it, it's got a stitched edge. I just ran along with a scalpel like that and tucked something underneath it and then set my photo on top. And then the little wording, love this. Just gave it a little bit of 3D-ness without doing anything fancy. Down to this one here. This is in your collectibles. I cut it about 2/3 away along the bottom, and these 2 little frames are in your collectibles. And then I put a little butterfly on it, and that's a little rub-on. That's simple. These little bits in the middle of the pages, at the very end, you'll have lots of strips left over. I just tucked them in, and I'm going to put some rub-ons and things along those. And then over to this page, I just put a full 2x3 photo in there, and my birdie. So do that at any stage. You can use full photos to tuck in. This one here, I found another page that I'd cut into quarters, and this was one of the little envelopes out of my collectibles. I put it at an angle and chopped the edge off, and that was out of the laser cuts. And then I'll have my little photo on there when I get a chance. Down here, another really simple one. If you recognise this, I chopped it off the bottom of that. So I just matted a photo onto the edge of one of my collectibles, and then I put the little leftover bit of the doily on there and put a little laser cut up there. And there's my birdie sitting on the dinosaur. Over here, another really simple one. This was just a 3x4 background. I matted my little photo on there, and that's just a little laser cut with a butterfly on it. Really quick and simple. Hopefully I'm working at a pace that's slow enough that people that are doing it from home can like press pause and then go and copy and then press play for the next bit. Up here, this was just another one of the backgrounds that I'd cut into quarters. All I did was I scalpeled the edge of it and tucked a photo mat under there, and I'll find a photo for that one. Again, another full 3x4. Down here was another, as you can see, a lot of these pages. See, I just went through a lot of them. I just chopped them into quarters. And they're the ones that I then turned into backgrounds. So this one here, for example, just cut it down and turn it into a background. And that way you've got a whole selection of backgrounds to choose from. So this one was one that had little flowers down here. I just put a little matted spot there. I went around the butterfly with my scalpel so I could cut the photo mat under it. This was the bottom half of a tag. This is a bottom half of a tag. Later on in the album, so all my tags I cut in half with my scissors. So you've got lots of bits to tuck under everywhere. This one here, again, was just another one of the quarters that I'd come up with when I chopped something down. That is a laser cut. That is a little rub-on. Hello, Frank. Helen, how are you? Hello, Lynn. This is one of my little tagged frames. What do you call them? Tabbed frames. I cut in half. So I got half on this one and I'll have half for another page. Okay, then we're up to some 4x6s. So again, go through your papers and find one. This one here, I just cut it in half, had some up there and some down the bottom there. And all I did for the bottom one, for example, was, oh, I put a rub-on over that flower there to make it go over the page a little bit. So I just mat your photo, and the mats, I don't know if you've seen me turning over some of them. Some of these pages, when you turn them over, are a beautiful dark brown. These are the ones that I'm using for the photo mats. Up to this one here, this is one of your tabbed frames. So I've got it sideways and another one of the tabs. These will all come in your kit. And this is just a laser cut that I popped out and put on there. I'll have to take the right photo to go in there. And here we are, another page over here. Now, see how they slip out slightly? When I've finished them, I haven't done it yet, a little bit of clear sticky tape up and over the top will stop it from falling out on you. Because at the moment I want to be able to pull them in and out, I can't do that until I've got my photos on them. So here we are over here. This was just one of the brighter ones. I cut the little edge of the butterfly there to tuck my mat under. I used a tab at the top, and look at this. These are the bottom halves of some more of those tab tickets that I've been cutting in half, just tucking them under. Up here, another page that I've just cut in half. I did scalpel the edge of that flower, so if you just have a look at what you're working with, and if you can scalpel the edge of something. Oops, hang on, my phone's just gone silly. That's better. If you turn your phone at too much of an angle, it goes silly on you. Okay, so this is just another one of the file tabs, and I stuck two of the little fake tabs underneath it so they look real. And we're almost there. Over onto this page, another full 3x4 stuck in there. This one was a very simple one. I just had a little 3x4 background. This was one of my collectibles that I cut down so it hung off the edge. And I put another tag. I do believe I cut this tag up that way, and I think I've used that other half of that tag somewhere else in the album. And love this. Hello, Gillian, how are you? This is the other half of the frame earlier in the book where I said I'd cut one of the frames in half. I'll tuck a photo in there. There's another half of a tab, another half of a ticket stub, I think, and a laser cut. So for anyone making the page, you can pause it right here, and if I hold it, hopefully when you pause it, you can see the page to be able to copy. Over to this one here, I just found another one of the one with the leaves. All I did was trim the edge of the leaves and tuck the photo frame under and chose the word awesome. Okay, here we are, last page. On this one, I put two photos, full photos in. If you wanted to, you could do full photos in all of them. This was one of the pages that cut into 4 and it just said, oh, happy day. And I just liked that, and I won't even put a photo on that. I think I added another rub-on to that plain bit. I just thought it looked pretty. Here's another 3x4. I just made a little frame on there for my photo. That is just a little laser cut and a little tab. And then for the back of the album, you can buy more pages, and you've got so much left over. You could keep going with this album with all your bits and pieces using more ideas like what we've done here. So for the back of the album, you've just got a piece of the 6x8 in orange, and all I did was cut this down. I glued it on 3 sides and tucked some bits and pieces in there that I can add things to. This was a little strip that was left over, and I liked it because it had the little butterfly on it, so I just stuck it on the top there. Now, did I put anything on the back? No, I haven't put anything on the back. So now, Mum, can I borrow you to hold this camera for just a moment? Back to the beginning. This here is a pocket that goes in the front of the album. So if you could just hold it exactly still here at about this height. Let's see how she goes holding this still. Exactly still there at about that height. Let me know if you need me to put it down. This is attached with string to hold it closed. It's a little pocket album. This is designed that you can put notes in there, you can put photos in there. I didn't bring a blank one to show people. I will have to do a separate live to show people how this is done. Basically, this comes as at one part, and you put a bit of glue up either side and it sticks in. And this one here is another pocket which you'll cover and slide in. And in order to put it in the album, because if you stick it in the album with the string running along the back of it, it will get a bit of a bow in it. So what I did, let's see if I can show people. I used a bit of fat cardboard and I cut a hole in the middle of the fat cardboard and down there, and I attached it all. Well, I didn't attach it very well, did I? Lucky I didn't attach it well, because now I can show you. Oh, look, the whole thing's fallen apart. Ha! There you go. Isn't it good that I didn't stick it very well? So all I did was I stuck the 2 bits of quite fat cardboard in there. I glued my ribbon across the back, so that ribbon is designed to go in the groove. So when I go back and use better glue, the entire thing will sit nice and flat. Now, because the whole thing's pulled out, I probably can show you. See how these are designed with little tuck under grooves? They're quite easy to put together. If anybody can't work out how it goes together, contact me and we can just do a little one-on-one on video chat or something, showing you how it's done. And then you just cover it, just trace and cover with your papers. You might want to use brighter papers than I did. There's lots of papers left over, and that will stick in there, and then it just ties shut with all your extra bits and pieces. Memorabilia, if you've been on a holiday or anything. Hello, Lynn. Hello, Marion. Hello, Julie. So hopefully that worked to show people how it worked. Is that the right wording? Hopefully that was enough to show those of you working at home how to put the album together. Any questions whatsoever, contact me and we can go over any of the pages again. Hopefully you can watch through and just press pause and complete the album. So time for dinner. It's smelling yummy. And then another card game. Last week, Mumsy and I, we had our butts whipped. We play 500 on Thursday nights, in case anybody doesn't know what 500 is. It's a game that takes a lot of concentration. It's a card game. And my dad, anyone that knows my dad will understand, he's the master of distraction. And while you're distracted, you're not focusing, and he comes in and wins. So Thursday nights are always a highlight of our week. Talk to you all soon. Bye.